Why are so many people pretending Superman 2025 is a good movie? Not decent, not watchable, but good. Like it's some triumphant new era for DC, when in reality it's a hollow, confused, and thematically bankrupt film wrapped in nostalgic packaging. Let's break down why so many people are failing or refusing to recognize how objectively bad this movie truly is. First, there's emotional investment. This isn't just a film, it's the starting line of a new DC universe. After years of chaos, canceled projects, and misfires, fans desperately want to believe this is the beginning of something better. And when you want something to succeed this badly, you'll forgive almost anything to preserve that hope. Bad pacing, it's just setup for later. Flat characters, they'll develop in sequels. Generic villain, it's only the first act of a bigger story. It's the illusion of promise, not the presence of quality. Then there's James Gunn. The man behind Guardians of the Galaxy and Peacemaker has built up a kind of pop culture immunity. People assume he knows what he's doing, so when his take on Superman feels scattered, weirdly paced, or emotionally distant, fans rush to justify it. It's his style, it's different on purpose, it's bold and subversive. But here's the truth. Just because a filmmaker has a reputation doesn't mean every project is immune to criticism. Gunn's Superman lacks the emotional gravity and mythic tone the character demands, and no amount of quips or callbacks can disguise that. Another reason, desensitization to mediocrity. In an era of endless superhero content, expectations are lower than ever. If a movie isn't a complete disaster, it gets a participation trophy. And compared to recent bombs like The Flash or Black Adam, Superman 2025 seems passable, but not a disaster. Isn't the same as good. We've been so conditioned by corporate algorithms and safe, focus-grouped storytelling that anything remotely functional feels like a breath of fresh air, even if it's painfully average. Let's talk about aesthetics. Superman 2025 looks like it knows what it's doing. Bright color palette, hopeful tone, classic suit. It hits the nostalgia buttons hard. And for some viewers, that's enough. The film weaponizes iconography, Smallville, Lois Lane, The Daily Planet, to trick you into feeling like it's honoring the character. But what it delivers is a shallow shell of what Superman could be. There's no soul, no conviction, just a cosplay of greatness. Here's where things get a little darker. There's a real fear in the critic and fan community of being labeled a hater. We live in a time where honest, negative reviews are seen as personal attacks, especially when it comes to big franchises with tribal fan bases. Critics dance around the truth with phrases like ambitious but flawed, or a promising start, instead of calling it what it is, a disjointed, bland misfire that plays it safe while pretending to be bold. Nobody wants to be the voice of disappointment, so they just go quiet or stay vague, and silence becomes praise. One of the most common defenses of this film is that it's just laying the groundwork, that it needs to be this restrained, this basic, this generic, so future DC entries can shine. But here's the thing, a great foundation doesn't have to be boring. Look at the original Iron Man. It introduced a whole universe without sacrificing character, pacing, or vision. Superman 2025 doesn't set the stage, it stalls the momentum. It delays meaningful storytelling under the guise of planning. Finally, we need to acknowledge fandom psychology. When you've been starved for a win, even crumbs taste like a feast. The fans who defend this movie aren't all blind, they're just exhausted. Years of disappointment make them cling to any glimmer of hope, no matter how faint. So instead of admitting this film is underwhelming, they project their hope onto it. They fill in the gaps with imagination. They praise the movie they wanted, not the one they got. So why do so many people fail to see how objectively bad Superman 2025 is? Because it's easier to believe in the dream than face the reality. Because Gunn has goodwill, DC has momentum, and fans have hope. But at some point, we have to stop grading on a curve. Superman isn't just a character, he's the character, the myth, the ideal, the standard. And if the movie carrying his name can't rise above mediocrity, then it doesn't matter how many cameos, costumes, or callbacks it throws at us. Bad is bad, no matter how good you wanted it to be. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed what you heard here today, please do remember to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notifications button for additional stories on similar topics. And as always, I will catch you in the next one.